Welcome to another Deadbeat by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, howling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing Gaia of an endless bite, until our final days we will fight. Thanks, man, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us from the grave dead tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the one forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. Rock will never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network, where we play St. Petersburg by Night, a massive multiplayer 5th edition World of Darkness chronicle set in the city of St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Kent, also known as Misha Kent on all social media, and I am the lead storyteller of St. Pete by Night, and it's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Hellhounds here on YouTube, our YouTube exclusive Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicle set in the city of Tampa. Or, well, I suppose you could say it's brought to you from the pits of hell, because if you know anything about this particular pack, you know that they are, in a word, problematic. But they're somebody else's problem, because they are the Sept of the Evening Stars problem, at least for now. And how much longer they're going to be the Sept of the Evening Stars problem, that remains to be seen. But if you enjoy what you've seen so far, and if you've been keeping up with St. Pete by Night, you should go follow St. Pete by Night on all of that social media you see listed down below and in the description, because we have tons and tons and tons of amazing content for you on all of that social media, including these amazing memes that we post on a near daily basis, as well as announcements for all of the amazing programming we have coming your way, including Rage Across Tampa, which you can see every Tuesday night over on Twitch, and After Dark, our behind-the-scenes program where we talk to movers and shakers in the world of darkness on a bi-weekly basis over on Twitch as well. So go follow St. Pete by Night on all of that social media. You can also join our amazing community by following that Discord link and hopping into the Discord channel, where you can talk to these amazing players that you're about to see, as well as other members of our incredible community, and join in the activities we have available over on that channel. So go join the Discord and be a part of the St. Pete by Night community. Speaking of amazing players, let's take a moment to introduce those players now. Players, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves for me, if you please?
Hello everyone, my name is Jay, and I'll be playing Deadbeat, Bonar Ruin. Hi everyone, I'm Nikki and I'll be playing Delphine Ruinspeaker, the Silent Strider Theurge.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben, and I'll be playing Raymond Gorn, Ghost Council Philodox.
Hello there, my name is Katie, and I will be playing Aurora Rory Woods, the Bone Gnawer Galliard.
Hello, everyone. I am Lilith, and I will be playing Juniper Kameen, the Black Fury Ragabash.
So, players, we are going to journey back to just where we left off last week. You arrive home after a rigorous day of training, but this day of training was especially rigorous because you had been instructed for the first time on how to kill vampires. But on top of that, Charles Albrecht ran you silly through some physical exercises, and then before releasing you for the day, he put one of you through a, well, especially difficult punishment because one of you once again decided to break a rule of the litany after being told that she should not go speak with Eliza Ross, the Theurge of the Sept, without his permission. Delphine did seek out Eliza, did speak to Eliza, did ask for training and guidance. And Charles, of course, did find out. And so, the pack was posed with a choice. Delphine would be given another rite of shame to be joined by the rite of shame she had been given from the Sept in Michigan, or the pack would lose some of the funding that had been given by the patron Matthias Morningkill. The pack, disgusted by the way she had been treated as she had been trotted out with a dog collar and leash, a act and display that was very, very, very shameful and very embarrassing, chose to have their funding cut in an act of unity rather than having Delphine take the punishment upon herself only. However, while this act of unity was a interesting and once in a lifetime opportunity for this pack so far, a pack that has not shown a great deal of unity up until now, this group of teenagers, ranging anywhere from 18 to 20 years old, now find themselves arriving home, having picked up pizza on the way, returning to their ramshackle house in the middle of a broke down, middle of nowhere neighborhood in a run down part of Tampa. Coming in the front door, you hear the snoring, heavy breathing of the red wolf that is curled up on the couch in a small bundle, her tail draped across her face, as stakes her claim, lays on the couch, breathing deeply. Even though it's still pretty early in the evening, the sun not having fully set by the time you arrive home, she looks like she has been probably sleeping for several hours at this point and doesn't even bother to wake up, even though you all have arrived through the front door. The ride home from the cairn was quiet and tense. There were a lot of feelings, a lot of thoughts, and I'm sure all of you have a lot to discuss and a lot going through your minds at this particular moment. But as you arrive back at the house, the scene is yours.
Delphine is going to just head straight to the girls' room to change just because she's got blood stains all over her pants and her sweater. And kind of not meaning to, slams the door a little bit.
With the slamming of the door, Steak's head pops up and her ear twitches. The Lupusborn looks over in the direction of the hallway, blinking bleary wolf eyes. Lets out a big yawn, her lower jaw extending, tongue extending outwards as she looks towards all of you, blinking a few times. Then just lowers her head back down and falls asleep again.
I glare in the direction of the girls' room at Delphine's slamming of the door for a moment after Stakes falls back asleep, and then I look over at everyone else. Well, that all was definitely a shit show.
So much for not being treated like hounds, huh? Like dogs.
I'll walk in carrying the pizza boxes, setting them down on the dining room table. Charles stepped over the line with what he did, but he did set up parameters. That's not to say that I agree with what I did. It was wrong. It was gross. It was way over the line. More so even than the trial that happened. So, yeah, we were treated in that instance just bad.
Rory just kind of walks in. It kind of has like a haunted look to her eyes, but is like trying to hide it. And just goes and looks for her dobro. And once she finds it, she just kind of sits down at the table and just starts silently playing it.
I'm gonna get a little paper plate as I go up to the pizza. Imagine open one of them. One of them definitely a meat lover's. Deadbeat would only insist on that being one of the pizzas he would get. I think he takes like 3 slices, put it on his plate, stacking one on top of the other two. He just, oh my god, and we're gonna have to deal with this shit for even longer now, because now we bow down, showed our belly to this shit, and he's gonna do it again. God damn it, bruh.
I don't think we're going to have to suffer through this for much longer. Once we get an assignment and once we do our job well, I think Charles and the Sept will be more lenient. Because once we prove that we can work and that we can come together and accomplish goals, we'll be fine.
Us come together and accomplish goals, or you know who you're talking to, right? What the fuck are we gonna do right here? I mean, none of us like each other. None of us trust each other. I mean, hell, fucking Juniper here wants me dead every 2 seconds. What are we gonna do? What mission we're gonna nail to get their trust, huh? If we're ever even gonna be put on a mission.
I mean, we did it once before with the first mission we did. But just because we all hate each other, just because some of us want each other dead, we can still accomplish a goal and we can still do a mission correctly if we put our minds to it.
Can we stop saying the word dead for 5 minutes?
For the record, I don't want anybody dead in this pack. And I just give Rory a look. We have agreed on some things, and we literally all just worked together to get that fucking thing off Delphine's neck. So I think that we can at least prove to them to not be on us so fucking hard.
It's just like the deal we made before with Red when they left for the weekend. If we're able to do the job right, we'll be able to get a reward. That reward will be a more lenient hand.
Yeah, more lenient hand until one of us talks to a person we're not supposed to talk to, and then we get executed on the spot for it, because that's currently how things work around here. That's the appropriate level of punishment there.
Delphine opens the door to the bedroom and steps out just wearing oversized pajamas now. And just heads over to the kitchen, gets a couple of large slices of pizza, not really paying attention to which ones she's grabbing, and grabs a couple of water bottles from the fridge. One of them she sets in front of Stakes as she takes a seat on the couch next to her.
Stakes, as the couch kind of moves with Delphine sitting down, instead flops over and lays her head on Delphine's lap, rolling so her belly is up and her legs are just stretched out.
Delphine does crack a little bit of a smile down at Stakes and kind of just setting the pizza down, setting it aside, she kind of just leans down to just press her head against the fur, just to take a little moment of comfort just in Stakes' warmth.
Kind of seeing Delphine enjoy herself, which is something that Deadbeat cannot allow. I cannot allow that to happen. I'm just gonna call it. What the fuck are you smiling for? You just cost us the goddamn funding with whatever the hell you did, talking to a person you weren't supposed to talk to. Get to sit here, have a good time.
We all decided that, Deadbeat. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you just talked about how the rule being set in place of us being executed if we were to talk to someone wrong or go against a rule, and you're now berating Delphine for what we decided, seems a little backwards from what you were just complaining about.
Yeah, I'm pissed. I'm pissed that the rule even there to begin with, and I'm pissed that we got in trouble for it. You should have known better than to get fucking caught immediately. Now we gotta sit here and figure out how the hell we're gonna get more money for this shit.
You can get a job.
Fuck that. I'm a fucking werewolf. Why would I get a job?
You could
Because you're
always
also still a
try.
person.
You could always try breaking into one of their homes again. That went real well the first time.
I know that's a joke, but let's not push that narrative, please.
Angrily taking bites out of my pizza.
Like I said, when we get an assignment and we do it correctly, these rules will disappear. This is not going to be a long-standing thing. We just have to get through this moment, and we'll be good.
Sure, whatever. And just shake my head. I continue eating.
You could have just had me shamed again.
Kind of feel like you got shamed enough there in the moment.
And why would I let that motherfucker have the satisfaction of shaming one of us? Fuck him.
If anyone should feel shame, it's him for doing that shit to you. That was gross as fuck.
I broke the rules. It's fine.
It's not fine, and the whole thing was fucked.
Yeah, you broke the rules. And yeah, technically you broke the litany. Well, not technically you did. But my statement stands. You were doing it because you were desperate to find some sort of tutelage. And like I said, I would be just as desperate as you are if I had not been taught for like 7 or 8 months. You made
11.
a choice. 11 months. You made a choice. You got in trouble for that choice, but it was not a wrong choice.
Delphine, at
The
this
more
point, you feel a hot, wet tongue slap against the side of your face and roll up along your cheek a couple of times. It's a little bit rough at first, but at the same time, strangely comforting as Stakes licks the side of your cheek a few times before she nuzzles against your neck for a moment and then rolls off the couch and starts slowly and sleepily wandering her way towards the back door.
Delphine will just wipe her face off a little bit and kind of lower her head just enough for her hair to cover it. Trying to hide the fact that her eyes are tearing up.
As Stakes reaches the back door, she hops up and grabs the knob to the back door with her jaws and twists it, and the back door swings open, and she drops down and trots her way out, and with one of her back paws kicks it closed.
Must be nice to be able to lounge around like that and just rest in the house. You'd think they'd make her do more work since she's like the oldest of us, right?
Look, I know that you like to lash out at everyone around you to just escape the realities of your own actions, but don't go after her. Not Stakes.
I'm not going after her. I'm just be nice to be able to relax more. I'm just wondering why they haven't gotten her to do more. Like she
You have
doesn't have
3
to do
days
the same
off.
stuff. Back in the other step, we didn't have like these intense training regimens. We would just have our time to chill out, relax. The crazy
In
thing
the
that I
last
almost missed
step,
the
we
other
weren't
one.
fucking taught anything, deadbeat.
we weren't preparing for a war like we are down here.
Like I
And
said, it was much better.
Rory's eyes will start to like water a little bit. She'll probably mess up a few of the notes as she's playing.
Rory, are you like okay? What the fuck?
I'll manage.
Did something else happen that I missed? What is going on, dude?
Let's just say my talk with Jasper was insightful.
With who? What'd you say?
Jester. I don't know why I said Jasper.
I just let a little laugh at that. Just you goofy ass motherfucker. Dang Jasper. But
Listen,
what the hell you're talking to Jester about?
It's. I wanted to learn more. Find out what we're getting ourselves into. You know, they already lost a pack member, right? Before we even got here.
I swear to God, if this is a rune, I swear. Who was it?
Didn't ask. All I know is that he went down fighting.
Sounds like an Arun to me.
Of course. Of course. Oh, God.
Back door opens
We don't-
again, and in walks Stakes, but this time in her Hamid form. And she seems to be adjusting the belt to her pants as she walks in. Yeah, it was there, Arun. His name was Aiden. He was a Lupus born. He died protecting Aspen, their leader.
At that point, Rory's eyes water more and a few tears stream down her cheeks.
When you mean defend, like, was she like in a fight too, and then she couldn't hold her own, and he had to step in and like save her or something? That's what it sounds like to me. Sounds like she can't really hold her own.
Yeah, because that's what a pack does. They protect their own. They work together. They were facing a leech that was stronger than any one of them alone. They needed to all work together to defeat it. And no, I haven't been lounging around. I worked all night, so I was getting a few hours of sleep. But thanks for your concern, Deadbeat.
We got some pizza if you're hungry.
I ate, but thanks, Ray.
I didn't mean it like that. I just
You did, but it's alright. I've found it's better to ask questions. If you want to know what I'm doing, I'll tell you. I'm not keeping secrets. You just have to ask.
What were you doing then?
They asked me to investigate a site where the fertilizer was being used across the bridges over in a place called Largo. Apparently, there's a development being built there, and I went to check it out. I found more of the plants, the seeds. Luckily, I was able to dig them out, and they withered away quickly before they could grow. Probably going to have to go back there again to make sure they don't plant more.
What company is building on that site?
I think you know.
I just squeeze my fist.
We're going to go back together. I've asked that to be one of your first assignments, but he hasn't decided you're ready yet, so I'm holding off on us doing anything serious until you are ready. I'm just keeping it at bay until you are.
Well, I probably fucked it up today.
From the sounds of it, it didn't help, but you're still here. I wouldn't worry about it. It's a setback, but it's not a loss. The best thing...
Why were they so lazy up north?
Because they could be. They didn't want you. That's the truth of it. I found you. I brought you. I wanted you. They didn't. They were happy being alone. They were happy with what they had. And It's part of their job to take in pups. It's part of the responsibility. But it's also sometimes a burden. I don't think of you as a burden.
I was on my way out of the state. You could have just let me keep going. Someone else probably like you would have found me.
Why? You're mine.
I just feel like things could have been easier for you and probably the rest of you if you just hadn't found me.
Delphine, nothing in my life has been easy. Nothing in any of your lives is going to be easy from this point forward. But I promise you something. It is going to be a hell of a lot more rewarding. Because everything you do has an impact. Everything you do makes a difference. And for the first time in your lives, you can actually see what impact it's making, what difference it's making. You don't have to have other people tell you what impact it's making. You don't have to believe what the others tell you. You can see it for yourself. You, Delphine, can see the spirits and see Gaia.
I see a city corrupted. And I feel a heartbeat dying.
Yeah. So what are you going to do about it?
We're 5 kids who haven't been doing this collectively haven't been doing this even a year yet.
So
and we're supposed to fucking...
Why are you ignoring the 7 that have? Why are you fighting against those that are trying to help you and teach you?
Oh, they clearly don't want us either. They clearly don't
They
care about
do.
us as much.
I
Have you
talked
seen the
to their
last
leader.
Oh, and she's told you honey words of how this new nation, how much she cares, he wants to teach and grow, blah 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 blah, all that talk, like that morning kill dude, Matthias, whatever guy. He did the exact same speech. Of course, that's gonna tell us the same thing, but they really don't want us here. I mean, seeing their faces, seeing Charles treat us. I mean, it's obvious. The old Sept didn't want us either, and this new nation, I guess the old nation too, wouldn't want us either. None of the werewolves want us.
Then what do you want to do?
I don't know, fucking eat my pizza, have a good time, just I don't know. That's not my place to find that out.
They keep bringing you back. Why would they do that if they don't want you?
Because we're what that one guy Matthias said, we're a resource. We're his tools to use. I forget the exact word he used, but he saw us as a more of a foot soldier, I guess, meat fodder, whatever the word is.
Then be
Why would
good
he want
at
to
it.
throw us away?
Be better at it. Prove them wrong. Prove them that you're more than that. You don't think I wasn't treated that way when they found me? Guru, life is hard, kid. You either live or you die. That's why they treat you that way. They expect you to die. Most of us don't make it to their age. They don't get attached because they expect you to die. That's where you prove them wrong. If you show that you're worth a damn, if you show that you're worth something, if you show that you're more than just fodder, then they'll stop treating you that way. But with that attitude, why would they believe in you? Why would they get attached to you? I am attached to you because I found you and I believe in you and I know you're worth more than that. But I'm biased. Yeah, I learned that word.
You're lupus born, not an idiot. You're smart, Stakes.
Gaia picked all of you for a reason. You all have something to offer, and they know that. But they are trying to show you how hard this life is, because this place isn't hell. They can't rest here. They can't be lazy here. They don't want you to die. They don't want you to make mistakes that are going to get you killed. They want you to succeed, believe it or not. A little bit of embarrassment in exchange for your lives, that's worth it. And if you think being put on a leash is the worst thing that can happen to you, think again. Other septs would have burned you. Other septs would have beheaded you. Other septs would have flayed the fur from your skin. You're lucky they didn't trot you out in front of your entire tribe. They kept it private.
Is that what they used to do in the
Yeah.
old nation?
That's fucked up.
Yes, it
What
is.
the fuck?
Did you see what happened after all that? You all unified. How many times has that happened?
I think
Not
0.
often.
Yeah. What was the real lesson?
Fuck Charles.
Sure.
We were hating him, but we were hating him together. He said it.
In a messed up way, his training was a success.
It's not hard to just listen. They're not trying to stop you from becoming better. That only hurts them. Is it at a pace you like? No. But rushing head first is only going to send you colliding into a brick wall blind. You were stumbling through the woods with your eyes closed. That's what the old Sept had you doing. Because they didn't want you to see what was out there. And you know what I mean. Believe it or not, you weren't seeing everything in those woods.
I saw
Wolf.
enough to not want to go back there.
Yeah. Wolf, no wolf, there were things in those woods you weren't seeing. Things they didn't want you to see. You think I brought you here to torture you? You think I brought you here to get you hurt, to embarrass you? Why would I have come? I brought you here to protect you. I brought you here to give you your best fighting chance to learn how to be real Guru. And I came with you.
So are you saying that those things that we didn't see up in hell, do they not exist down here?
Well, they most certainly do, but at least the ones down here will tell you about it, and have, and are preparing you for it.
That's fair.
They're not denying that it exists. And they're at least willing to listen to what you have to say, even if it's crazy. Yes, they do things differently, and yes, you're gonna have more days that you're gonna come home angry and frustrated and sore. But your wounds will heal. Your pride will recover. You'll get smarter, you'll get stronger, you'll get faster. And you will earn their respect. And with that respect, the leash will go away. The collar will disappear. You were right, Ray. After that first mission, if you do it well, things will get easier. But if you don't, it's only going to get harder because they can't afford mistakes. Not because you're expendable, but because every mistake could get them killed and ruin everything they've built here. They were kids too. They understand what it's like. You're still here and still alive because they understand. Or else they would have sent you packing the minute you introduced yourselves. And they would have had every right to do so.
Delphine just swipes her hand under her eyes and takes a deep breath. Sucks as I was doing really good kicking all of your asses in training this past week. And she looks at everyone kind of just trying to crack a joke and ease the tension.
I mean, I was doing just fine until that obstacle course. I was keeping pace with you the entire time. You just had to.
You shouldn't be
beat me on
keeping
that.
pace with the meth. You shouldn't be keeping pace with the drug you should have been passing me.
It was one of the rare moments he actually showed true leadership, not leaving everybody behind.
I've gone through this once before. I know it's rough. I know everyone reacts to it differently. So, I was taking that experience and doing my best to keep everyone going.
Oh my,
To some extent.
oh my god, I fucking hate all of you. This is so corny. You know what? I'm gonna go out tonight. I'll be back whenever I grab pizza, start like walking with it on the go. Like I'm gonna start getting ready. You can do this little hoorah, circle jerk here on your own. I'm heading out.
One of these days, Deadbeat, you're going to be joining in it.
No thanks. I
Maybe
can
you
do it
won't have a
myself.
bloodstain. Maybe he won't have a bloodstained T-shirt that next time.
You're lucky that Charles was there. Otherwise, I would have knocked your ass into the dirt.
I think I'm gonna turn in early, actually. And she's gonna get up and head to the room.
Stakes walks over, plops down on the couch next to Delphine and grabs the bottle of water, opens it and starts taking a drink.
Well, so much for pack of pizza night. Everyone's kind of leaving.
I mean, we can put on TV and see if it'll lure Rory out eventually, or maybe Deadbeat will get distracted by the shiny and stay.
I mean, we can see what's on.
He likes blondes. Right, Juniper?
I'm yeah, I'll be right back. And I'm gonna head out of the room.
As everyone heads their separate ways, preparing for their own evenings, whether it's an evening of rest, whether it's an evening of spacing out to the TV, or whether it's for an evening out on the town. There's a lot to consider, a lot to think about, whether it's rehashing all of the events of the day, whether it's going over Stakes' words, whether it's holding on to bitter resentment for what Charles did or what Delphine did. This is some well-earned time off. So how is it going to be spent? Because with 3 days off, there's a lot of trouble this pack can get into. Let's see where our first story leads us. We begin with Raymond, the pack leader. After a few slices of pizza and about an hour of some shitty television, you step outside to get some fresh air, walking over to the driver's side of your truck, climbing in. You pull your cell phone out from your pocket, looking through your contacts before stopping on a specific contact, Red. Looking at the contact, what's going through your mind?
Last time we spoke, Red gave me a mission of sorts before we left the Sept in Hell. Check in, let him know what's going on, and see what this nation that is down here is doing. Because one thing that Red did teach me when I was up there was that the old nation is not to be trusted. And so, after everything that did happen the past week and a half, I kinda have to agree. And I need to check up on him and let him know what's going on.
Thinking about Red, thinking about the mission you gave, you picture him in your mind. The strong Black Fury Arun, leader of the Sept in Michigan, in Hell, Tall, proud, strong, fiery red hair, full beard, well muscled. He always had a smile and a glint in his eyes, a jovial laugh, a hearty spirit. He was a solid leader. And with all this talk about poor teaching, poor leadership, it's hard to hear. Because Red did nothing but take you in, did nothing but have faith in you. When he named you pack leader, he instilled faith in you. He instilled trust in you and belief in you. And when your own pack questioned you, Red was there to stand behind you, to back you up, to instill confidence in you. You eventually press down upon the contact, and after a moment, the phone begins to ring. Raising it to your ear, after a couple of rings, it picks up. Raymond! Good to hear from you. Did you make it down to Florida all right?
We all made it down in one piece, and nothing too crazy happened on the way down.
I'm glad to hear it. I was starting to get worried. It's been a couple weeks now. You settled in?
As best we could. They provided us a house to stay down here. It's a little cramped, a little tight. We're all butting heads just as we usually did. But it's going. Yeah. Sorry about not calling. Nothing really happened. And we've been getting put through the ringer down here.
Hey, don't worry about it. I expected that it was going to take some time to settle in and get everything arranged. They provided you with a house, huh? Trying to make things look all nice and shiny down south. I'm surprised they didn't just put you in a shitty motel somewhere or make you sleep in the woods.
I mean, the house is not good. It is super run down, not in a good neighborhood. So optics are not trying to impress.
Wow. With that Matthias Silverfang who came up trying to recruit you guys, I would have expected something nicer, but that's what they think of us. What did I tell you?
Yeah, the experiences we've had down here kind of agree with you on that point.
Well, tell me about it.
First, I would like to ask a question.
Of course.
It seems like when we got down here, Matthias and everyone was very much into the dark of who we were and how young we were and how ill-prepared we were. Did you leave out that information when you sent us down here?
I didn't tell them anything they didn't need to know. And one, I don't think you're ill-prepared. I think that you are perfectly suited for what you need to do. Now, what they throw you into, what they decide to do to you, is very telling about what their intentions are. What they don't ask is very telling as well. They didn't ask questions, they asked for bodies.
It seems like the biggest problem that they have down here requires it. It seems like the city of Tampa is crawling with leeches, which is why the ill-prepared notion was brought up. It was not something we were taught up in hell.
Oh, see, they were telling me they were building something. They were looking to create something, and they were asking for assistance, any help that could be given. They were laying the groundwork for something special, something new, that they didn't want anyone to be ignored anymore. They gave me this great sales pitch. So I needed someone I trusted to go see if they were true to their word. Now it sounds like they're just looking for logs to throw onto the fire, bodies to lay down in the wake. I'm sorry for that, Ray. I wouldn't have sent you there if I'd known that.
It's all right. We got the same speech when we first met Matthias.
Yeah, same
about
bullshit.
how they were, building a new nation, and they're trying to step away from the past of the old nation. But from what I've seen, all the higher ups, everyone that seems to be in charge, are Silver Fangs. They're the ones that still hold the power. And
So what's new about it? That's the old nation all over the place. It sounds like everything that I'm used to.
as far as I'm aware, it doesn't seem to be too different, but I don't have experience with the old nation. I've only heard from what you've told me. And my experience with this new nation is little. So maybe I'll find out more as the time passes. But right now, as first optics show, it's not too believable.
Well, that's why we need to stay in touch. I'm here to clear up any illusions they cast your way. I'll tell you the truth. I always have, I always will. I'm not here to lie to you. As far as what you're getting into, I can only tell you what they told me. They didn't tell me about leeches. They didn't tell me about all these problems they seem to be having. They just told me that they're starting this nation, that they need help. And so I sent you to go investigate what they were saying to see if it was even worth helping. With the whole mess with Delphine and Deadbeat, I needed to do something to put Sean at ease. Gotta understand, I gotta handle both sides. I'm sure you get it.
I do. I understand. And it was rough the first day that we were here. Trust me, Deadbeat did not make it easy.
I'm sure he didn't.
But we got through it, though I'm surprised we did. And now we are going through training to prepare us for what's going on with the problems they have, which it seems like doesn't just involve leeches. It seems like they are also having trouble with the spirits down here. They also seem to have the same issue that we encountered when we did that raid on the housing development with the seeds and the flowers and the plants. And they only mentioned it once, but I really stuck. There's this cult that's down here. I don't know much about it, but I'm interested to know what their problem with that is. So it seems like there's a lot of problems. Yes. It was just mentioned in passing by, I think, Matthias when we were first introduced. And no one really has brought it up. Maybe it was Aspen when we met her. One of the two.
Interesting. Well, I know part of the reason Stakes took such an interest in going down there was to follow up on the whole seeds issue. We miss her up here. We'd really love if she was up here, but she won't leave her pups, and I'm glad that she is down there with you. I know she'll keep an eye on your backs, and she'll make sure nothing bad happens to you, so you got a good one with you. And that makes me feel a lot better about this whole situation. As far as the cult thing, I don't know anything about that. Again, I got the same sales pitch you did. But if it gets bad enough, you don't have to stay down there. I don't want you getting in any more trouble or danger than you think you can handle. You hear me? I didn't send you on a suicide mission. That's not what this is about. I trust you to know your limits. I trust you to know the limits of your pack. I just want to know what they're getting up to, because if it's a problem for us, if it's gonna be a problem for us in the long run, we need to know what we're up against, because these nation types, they're all about conformity, uniformity, and they tend to demand obedience, and they're going to push their agenda on any and all guru. They want the fight fought their way, and we're not about that.
They definitely pushed their way with our first interaction with their warder, Charles. First introduction from him was an act of dominance by immediately breaking Deadbeat's jaw, laying down the rules, laying down the law, and then putting us through Spartan training, which is rough, but the pack needs it to an extent. If we can form together as a pack, it'll be beneficial for everyone in the long run. But there was also an instance with Delphine breaking one of his rules and being leashed and collared like a dog and paraded in front of us. So they're definitely forcing the my way from their past actions through Charles. But that's the limited interaction I've had with everyone else.
You hear a low growl emanate at the mention of a leash and a collar. Fucking Silver Fangs. I can't say I don't understand the impulse to break Deadbeat's jaw. That's not a surprise to me, especially if he was mouthing off on the first day, which is expected. But everything else, yeah, that makes the list. That's not surprising.
I mean, he did more than mouth off. Our first interaction with the Sept leader here, he broke his record and broke 3 litanies in one go.
Surprised he's not dead with that rite of shame he carries.
I'm surprised I'm not dead either. Charles made a point that if anyone in the pack breaks the litany to a certain extent and execution is brought up, I will share the same punishment as them.
That's how they operate, Ray, I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna have to come to a point that if they, especially Delphine and Deadbeat, continue to be a problem for you, you might have to push them out. You might have to cut ties with them. And if that's the case, that's the case. You gotta understand, the mission is more important. The rest of your pack is more important. Juniper, Rory, they haven't done anything to deserve this. I understand that they might see this as a punishment. It's not. They're good guru. You're a good leader and a good guru. This could be a benefit to the 3 of you. You don't have to go down with them if they're not willing to rise to the challenge.
I understand, but the past 2 weeks, both have shown slight changes, very slight. And if that keeps progressing, then they will be good guru, and they'll be a benefit to everyone, especially the pack and you.
You might not have time for slight, Ray. Just consider the conditions down there. Consider who you're dealing with. We were patient. We had time. We weren't in the situation they're in. Sounds like it's a lot worse down there than it was up here. We tried so many times to give them chance after chance after chance, and look what they did with it. If they try any of that shit down there, I just don't want to see anything bad happen to you, or Rory, or Juniper, or Stakes. For fuck's sake, something happens to Stakes. Because of what they do.
If it ever gets to that point, I'm sure I can convince Rory and Juniper to head out. But Stakes has made it clear that all of us are her pups, and it'll be rough to try and pull her away. And I appreciate her sentiment. It's nice to know that she's there for all of us.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
feels good to have that connection.
She's always been loyal, and that's why we definitely miss her up here. And I appreciate that about her too. And I'm glad that she brought all of you together. And we're worried about you. We are. I don't know what you're going to hear or what they're going to say over these next few weeks or months or however long you're down there. But don't forget, this is your home, and we want you to come home. This is your sept, and you belong here with us.
That's good to know. It's good to know that I have a place to go back to.
You do. We live a very dangerous life. And I'm not going to be able to lead this group forever. I'm going to need a successor. And I see something in you, Ray. Something I haven't seen in anybody else. You're a military man. I was a military man once too. Like knows like. I believe in you. You can do this. Bring our pups back home.
Like I said before I left, I will do my absolute best. But do you have any advice, extra piece of advice for me while I'm down here? Anything I should be extra wary of, or anything I should think about while down here?
Keep your head down. Keep your guard up. Keep your eyes and ears open. You're going to learn a lot. That's for sure. There are challenges there that we don't have here. If it is a leech problem, those are skills you could use. There are threats here that we don't directly encounter because they don't come close to where we call home. But if you gain the skills to deal with those kinds of threats, that opens up possibilities for us that we didn't try for because we didn't have the numbers to go for it. If we grow stronger as a sept, there's more we can do. So the possibilities that open up if you and your pack learn are good. So maybe this is an opportunity to use the nation, to use them to gain something from this entire experience. Something that can be brought back to benefit all of us. I didn't spend a great deal of time in the nation. I couldn't stomach it. I didn't like them. I couldn't deal with their politics. I'm glad I got out as quick as I could. But you have a discipline and a patience that I respect and admire. If you can stomach it, if you can stand it, absorb what they have to teach. Bring it back, and maybe you can teach the rest of us a thing or two. Maybe you can help make us better, stronger. And maybe maybe we can change some minds of our own. Maybe we can make things the way it should be. Not the way they're preaching, not the way with Silver Fangs in charge, not the old way with some fresh new brand on it. But the way it should be. The way that Gaia needs. But I trust you to do what's right. You know what you're doing. I believe in you. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. Just believe in yourself. Believe in what we're trying to do. And you'll do the right thing.
Thank you. I appreciate the vote of confidence. It does mean a lot, especially with everything that's been happening. I will take your advice and run with it. I'll learn what I can from the nation. I'll learn everything that they're willing to teach. And if push comes to shove and this feels like a failure of their new nation, I'll be back.
Don't get discouraged, but come back if you need to. Whatever it takes, we need you back here and we need you alive.
I understand. I'll be in contact probably once every 2 weeks. See what
Understood.
happens, give it time to compile what I can tell you.
You check in when you can. I'm not expecting or pressuring you, but whenever you can give us an update, we appreciate it.
No problem, Red.
Take care of yourself, Ray. We're rooting for you.
Thanks. I will.
With that, he hangs up the phone. What's going through your mind, Ray, after this phone call with your Sept leader back home in Hell, Michigan?
A lot. Hearing the vote of confidence from Red was a little shocking. The option that he gave of a successor was something I didn't think about. It was something that never crossed my mind. And I don't know if that's something I would have ever aspired to be, but it's good to know that he puts that much trust and faith in me to accomplish my job and my goal to potentially put me in that position. It means a lot. And my goal down here hasn't changed. We, the pack and me, are going to support them as best we can. But like Red said, push comes to shove and it's too much. We need to head back and teach them and have them grow stronger. And potentially that will fix the relations and the problems that we had before we left. And we will be respected up there. Potentially not like we will be respected down here. But I don't know. My statement from before, talking to Deadbeat, of us being able to accomplish our goal and accomplish a mission and getting the respect from them, I was being truthful, and I believe that we can get respect from them, but it'll be rough. And I don't know. It's a lot.
When you come from hell, you're used to devils. Whether it's dealing with the devil you know versus the devil you don't. But sometimes it's about getting to know new devils or being reacquainted with devils of old. Now we move on to our next scene. Deadbeat. With all of the frustration, all of this rah-rah go team, You can't help but shake that nagging feeling of being a dog on a leash, of being another foot soldier ready to be sacrificed. That's not you. That's not your way. So, of course, what's your first instinct? Let's party. So that's what you do. You head out to your new haunts of Ybor City and you live it up. Because Ybor City is always a place for a good time. The taps are always flowing. The music is always bumping. The chickens are always crowing. So after a night of drinking and debauchery and dancing, you're ready to stumble your way back home. When passing by an alleyway, a strange and familiar voice calls to you from the dark, sending a slight chill of exhilaration down your spine, a thrill, but also a little bit of fear that draws your attention over to the wall. When you hear it at first, what you see is in the shadows a very thick, shadowed individual dressed in a very heavy hoodie, very baggy pants. You can't see underneath the hood. You can't make out any features as it's mostly backlit in a silhouette. But the voice is unmistakable. Because the last time you heard this voice was in a barn all the way up in Hell, Michigan. You talked to this individual and they had some very enticing things to say. Some very knowledgeable things. But why are they here? How did they get here? And what did they know?
Did you forget about me?
I look a bit like I'm definitely startled by the like, oh my god, this guy again, like, oh shit, kind of the confusion and the little bit of excitement. Like, last time I hung out with this guy, it was actually not that bad of a time. So he's kind of. If you're more sober, you'd definitely be more on edge. But right now, kind of the buzz allowing him to feel a little bit more confident in the situation. He looks over, or I look over. What? How the fuck did you get here, bro? What? I thought you were in Michigan, man. What? How'd you get out of here?
I suppose it was a little game of follow the leader. I go where the good times are.
Man, shit, you chose a good place to go then. There's some pretty cool places here. It's one place, the castle looks crazy, man. Oh my god, but shit, I mean, is there any more chickens for you to eat up here? I know there's a couple around here. I don't think you're supposed to eat them, if I've heard from some of the people around here.
Oh, I've had plenty to eat. So, what are you up to?
Well, came here to get away from the rest of the buzzkills back at, where we stay at. There's the people I was hanging out with. I think I told you a little about them before, the pack or whatever, blah blah blah. There's like people I'm rooming with. It's just all so annoying. They're right now kind of on this like hurrah teamwork. We gotta stick together, everyone. Just bullshit. I can't stand being in there any longer. It's just so annoying. But at least people here are a lot more fun.
That's what life's all about, right? Fun. What's the point in living if it's all just work, work, work?
Yeah, you get it, man. Exactly. But I guess you came down here for a good time then? Just like you said that you came down here like follow the leader kind of thing. I mean, you just in town for that reason? You sticking around here? You got a place? I mean, you kind of. I assume you don't just have a normal apartment, 3-bedroom or whatever.
Oh, I'll float here and there and everywhere. Don't worry about me. I take care of myself. But what about you? You got a place to stay? Or are you shacking up with the others?
Yeah, I mean we're kind of like sticking together a little bit. It's just not the greatest. Get stuck rooming with a guy named Ray. I don't know if you know him at all. Like if you know anything about the stuff going on with me, but his name's like Raymond. Dude is such a fucking buzz. Gets dicked up his ass so far. I don't even know if he could pull it out, even if he tried. It's crazy the level of dick riding he does for leadership in this place. Oh my god, it's I just want to puke every time I hear him go on one of his tirades, his speeches of how we could do this if we just stick together, we can get all this done, and as long as we stay nose to the grindstone, pull up our bootstraps, blah blah blah.
Sounds like a pain in the ass to me.
That's what I'm saying. And they were like wanting to do some like came down here especially because there's like this one like construction thing, like quality builders or whatever they're called. We were supposed to come down here and like figure out some stuff about them. Fucking just I don't know why it really matters all that much, but whatever, I guess.
Oh, really? I used to do some work for them. I know a thing or two.
Oh shit! You did work for him? How that like? What'd y'all get up to?
Oh, you want to talk about terrible bosses? Those guys were the absolute worst. Drive you from dawn till dusk and dusk till dawn. They'd work you to the bone. But if you're looking for a little bit of extra intelligence about them, I might know a thing or two.
Shit, I mean, I'd be down to learn a bit more. I mean, to be honest, they sound like a bunch of dickheads. I mean, working you for so long, bro. I mean, I guess that's what their construction or whatever. I guess it sounds like it makes sense. I hear construction guys are, drinking all the time anyway, so must suck ass.
Well, let's just say there's something always hidden in the foundation. A little extra they put in the ground. They like to bury their secrets down deep. And if you dig deep enough, sometimes you can find a little something special beneath the ground. You just have to dig deep enough.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to get a shovel or something, go over there, making it sound like buried treasure.
Sometimes it's treasure, sometimes it's something else.
They aren't
Are you
buried
a-
bodies, are they? That
Are
sounds
you a
like buried
gambling man? Do you like to gamble, Deadbeat?
Hey, I'm pretty good at gambling. I've made some decent on mounts in drinking games and blackjack. Poker's kind of decent. I got a good poker face.
Well, why not roll the dice and find out? Like I said, sometimes it's treasure, sometimes it's something else. You just have to go find out for yourself.
Well, hey, I mean, damn, I'm not gonna take a look at that. Appreciate it, man. I mean, shit, there. I mean, good enough. So, you did work for him in the past. You just like quit. I assume. I don't know. It looks like with how things are going on now, like assuming that like chicken stuff happened after working with them, like getting that like kind of stuff going on, or like before. I don't. I'm not judging. I'm just curious, like what the timeline here is.
I'm kind of a freelance operator, but but I've got some current employment that I'm really digging my heels into.
Hey, freelance. I hear freelance is pretty good nowadays, man. I mean, I've seen a couple people at the bar talking about it. It sounds not. I wish it'd be pretty cool to do that shit now, but it sounds like with kind of how they're going here, you got to stick with one group, and then if you don't, then you're some like rogue agent, and you got to get put down, or you know. At least this place offers free housing and food, so I'll take it.
Don't let anyone tell you what your limitations are, Deadbeat. You can be freelance too if that's really what you want.
Man, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how things kind of end out. I mean, hey, if there's some buried treasure, sounds like you're talking down there. Maybe we'll have to work. Just take that, retire. I mean, that could be a good deal. Just go to like some beach in Mexico where no one will find me.
Oh, absolutely. What you could find beneath those foundations is absolutely life-changing.
What are you talking about? More, I'm liking it. It gets a little bit more scary. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of weird how you're phrasing it, but I'm liking it. I'm a little excited by this one. Man, I like kind of like walk up a bit. Like I go to like put a hand on the shoulder, like to give him like a pat on the shoulder, like, hey man.
Yeah, he lets you touch him. When you do pat him on the shoulder, it's like touching, almost like touching stone. Like as you pat the shoulder, it's like patting. Oh.
Let me try that again. When you touch him on the shoulder, it's like touching a rock, like hitting a decently sized rock, like a hand-sized rock on the shoulder as you pat it. It almost kind of slightly bruises your palm hitting it at first. Doesn't feel like you hit anything like fleshy or anything beneath it.
Yeah, like take my I hit it once, like shit, and like I bring my hand back, kind of shaking it. I like kind of man, must go to the gym a lot, huh? It's just shit. I've got some muscle there, or whatever.
I do all right.
I could imagine. Oh, fuck. Oh, but it's just kind of like so we're reeling back from like, wow, what the hell did I just touch? I'm just kind of looks a little confused and almost a little perturbed for a little second. I just go, yeah, shit, well, you gotta like, I was just wondering if you're gonna be around here, like a place I could kind of find you at, in case I want to like come back and chat, hang out, get a drink sometimes. I don't know if you, like, I assume you drink. Everyone drinks these days.
Whenever you want to talk to me, Deadbeat, I'll know, and I'll find you.
Okay. All right, man. I mean, I don't know. All right. Shit. I mean, makes it easy, I guess. Don't have to go searching around for you. You'll just pull up. Well, I mean, it's nice seeing you. You want to get a drink or something? You just chilling here?
Oh, I have somewhere else to be. I've got another meeting to go to, but it's so good to see you. Just wanted to let you know I was in town. Catch up with old friends.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that you let me know. I mean, hey, what you told me, pretty cool stuff. I'll go make sure to check that out. But yeah, if you need anything, like I can help out. Like if you got something, like you need help with or whatever, like favor for a favor, whatever they call it.
I've got some things cooking. Don't you worry. But I will be sure to think of you first.
I'll give a light laugh or a little chuckle. Just, well, don't think of me too quickly, all right? Look, if you got other people, I mean, look, you definitely go in first. But hey, if you really need help, I'll be around. Just chilling. I'm kind of heading back my place. I'm done. It got pretty intense in some of the places there. I almost got kicked out one of them. This dude kept pissing me off, and of course when I stand up for myself, tells you to fuck off. Oh, I'm the bad guy, and I gotta leave or else I'm gonna get kicked out. I mean, bunch of bullshit nowadays. You can't even defend yourself without people getting all up in arms about it. Oh my god, you wouldn't even believe this one chick, Juniper. Oh my gosh, she kicked me in the back when we're about to meet this important guy. Everyone laughs it off. Everyone says it's all right. But as soon as I kick her in the back when we're meeting important people, oh no, it's the craziest thing in the world. You're a monster for that. What the fuck?
She just sounds like she needs to eat more.
You get it. You're getting it, man. See, that's why I like you. You get it.
Well, maybe you should just offer her a Snickers next time she's in a mood. Or maybe a tampon.
I mean, I wish you could say that to her face. Oh my god, that'd be her face. Hearing you say that would be so fucking funny, man. You're a real great dude. All right, but I'm ahead now. I'll see you around, man.
See you soon.
I'll turn around, and if I start walking away, I kind of look back a little unnerved by that exchange, especially hearing the "see you soon" part. Just okay, and I just
As you
walk away with mixed feeling.
As you walk away, you glance back over your shoulder towards the alleyway, and you can see the hoodie and the baggy pants moving the opposite way down the alleyway out of sight. That unnerved, uneasy feeling does go through your body. You feel a little bit unshaken, a little bit uneasy in your stomach, but there are some things that the individual said. Treasure, something buried beneath the foundations. Could he have been talking about the seeds? Or could he have been talking about something else? Life-changing. A gamble. Maybe this is something worth looking into. Maybe this is something worth investing in. Tell me more about what Deadbeat's mindset is.
Right now, there's definitely the excitement of like, oh, I just learned some cool shit, and hey, I mean, if it's life-changing, maybe I can actually get this and like be able to fuck off or something. But there's also that like, there is a sense of something's off, like something's not right. I obviously know this thing, even if it's a guy, I don't know, it's definitely shady, especially with some of the things that was saying was very ominous, which is unnerving, but trying to play confidently, trying to just pretend that I'm okay with it to feel a bit better about it, but my mind can't kind of shake some of the like things it said, especially about finding me when I want to find him, and seeing me real soon. But there's that excitement knowing, hey, I got some information. Maybe the others will respect me a bit more if I bring this to the others, say something about it, and like they'll be like, oh, Deadbeat got some information. Hey, good job, man. Maybe some finally give me respect I deserved.
Maybe indeed. Maybe you do have a lead that could help in a future investigation. Maybe you can be a contributing member to the pack, and maybe you can get some of that respect you've deserved all along. Because that's what you deserve, Deadbeat. You are the most important member of this team, and they need to know it, one way or another. We're now going to take a break for a few minutes. We'll be back with the second half of tonight's story. And we're back. In the first half, the pack began their 3 days off from training. They came home from training distraught, frustrated, and annoyed after Charles embarrassed Delphine and punished the pack by taking away some of their resources. Some of them gained some encouragement after getting some advice from Stakes, but others still feel rather discouraged. Ray put in a call to Red, the Sept leader of the Hell Sept back in Michigan. And Deadbeat met up with an old acquaintance from back home that seems to have followed him down to Florida. Now, in the second half, 3 of the members of the pack head out to the Riverwalk in downtown Tampa to see if they can track down a spirit that has been encountered several times by various members of the pack over the past several weeks. A spirit that has been dubbed Ember, a spirit of flame that seems to appear randomly and seems to be giving very obscure greetings and messages. The Riverwalk is lively and busy on this particular evening as you make your way downtown. It is dusk, and so the lights are coming on, the spotlights and the glowing halogens of bright colors lining the Riverwalk. As you walk down the concrete walkways, there are passers-by moving along. The water splashes and ripples up against the side walls. It's a lovely evening. There's a light breeze, and it's cool as the temperatures slowly descend from the warmth of the day. The 3 of you getting some space from the rest of the pack, getting some distance from the cramped home that you all call your residence. This is a nice change of pace. You're not out in the dusky and stanky woods, in the humid conditions, being run ragged. Your muscles don't ache so bad as it's been at least 24 hours since you've last trained. You're actually getting some time to relax. You're feeling clean. You're feeling rested. The scene is yours.
So this is where you last saw Ember?
Delphine nods and pulls her oversized cardigan around her a little tighter. Yeah, Rory and I were taking a walk along the Riverwalk, and we were supposed to be here for a music festival, but it got canceled. And I looked in the Umbra and I saw it. Them, I don't know.
What did they talk to you about? I know last time you and me saw them, it had some cryptic sayings. Was it still talking the same?
I didn't talk to it that time. She just gestures to the city. It was a lot seeing everything from that side, and I needed to not look at it anymore. And I hadn't been feeling my best, so.
So, what's the goal today? Find them? Talk to them? What do we want?
She pauses for a moment. I actually hadn't thought that far. I just thought it was weird that they followed us, and I hadn't had a opportunity to really check back in. She'll look to Rory. Did you bring your lighter?
I always have my lighter. And you would all notice, like, that she probably didn't sleep as well as anyone the night prior. Some circles starting to build up under her eyes. We can look for a place to post up, and I can light a cigarette and see if they pop up in my lighter again.
Are you okay?
Let's just say, well, I have a new perspective, I guess, at least. When it comes to what you do, Delphine, and what you've been through, right?
She furrows her brow and frowns a little bit. What I do? What do you mean by that?
She'll motion around.
Are you able to see this stuff now too?
I don't know if it was just a fluke, but when trying to get more info from Jester, and learning about Eden, I found out that burrow back at the cairn, that used to be his, and I felt his last moments. I felt what he felt right before he died and right after.
Fuck.
Cross my arms and give a little thoughtful look. This happened when you were talking to Jester, and it just came on spur of the moment. You didn't pull
It
anything.
happened when I put my hand on the tree.
Has this happened before? Any visions?
No, none. This was the first time it was a lot. And she'll just kind of lean up against the railing that is right near them.
Delphine will look at Ray. Whenever I get him, it's usually a lot too. It's intense. One of the last ones I got, I fell backwards in it, and I fell backwards when I came out of it too. That's how real it felt.
Interesting. So the visions aren't just... They provide physical and like emotional stimuli to that point of like great impact. It's not just you seeing random images.
I don't think it was random.
If they feel real enough, right? Like when Wolf bit me in my visions, I felt like I was getting bitten when I was coming out of it too. I still felt the pain of the bite around my ankle. I felt the chill of the night in one of the last visions I got with Deadbeat.
Are yours also random, Delphine, or are you able to actually like push them forward and actually cause them to happen?
They were random in the beginning, but with Deadbeat, I tried to force one for the first time. I kind of wanted to get a vibe. That's when we were. And she fiddles with the braid a little bit when we were plotting.
Rory, what exactly did you see in this vision? Like, what exactly did you experience?
I was diving into the water, and I knew I was gonna die. I knew I needed to protect her. I felt this like white paint, like, I don't want to say anger, but it was just a pain and anguish. And then after that, it was just peaceful. And that I can finally rest, and she'll start to get a little shaky.
I know it's a sore spot, me talking to Eliza, but when I did talk to her, she was telling me that part of my job as a theurge is to have empathy and for my pack, for other Geru, and for the spirits, and I don't know, maybe that's why it got prompted in Rory to give us some perspective and empathy for this pack, the Sept.
Possibly, but your lessons were mainly focused on you being a theurge. I'm assuming this vision that was brought on for Rory could have been some sort of lesson or a push for a Galliard reason.
What do you think, Rory?
I don't know. His pack has a Galliard. And when I told Jester, it seemed to hit her. I don't know why I was supposed to see it. If I was supposed to see it, maybe I wasn't supposed to be the one. I don't know. And I don't want to feel like that again.
This is where the urge training would probably come in handy. Hard to be a spiritual shrink when I don't know anything about this stuff, sorry. Don't touch the tree again.
I mean, the experience was abrasive and rough going through that, but you learned something from it. The experience that you had is something you can take and it can change your perspective to help you continue on. So it's not a bad thing.
Is this what it felt like for you?
In what way?
Knowing that that could have been any moment while you were out there. I know we don't really talk about it much, and I know it's not proper to ask anyone who's fought for us.
I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was rough. It was excruciating. That, sure, I may have had some time where nothing bad really happened, and I was able to spend my time at the base not really worrying, but there's always that thought in the back of your head of this could be the second minute or day that I die. When you're in a war and you're fighting and you're doing your job, it's easy to shove it down and ignore it. It's the time after when you have a moment to think that when it finally hits. And I think that's what you're dealing with right now. Because, yeah, we're at war. We are fighting a war. But we're not actively fighting. We're not actively going out and doing missions. So your thoughts are with you, and it's
Right
hard.
now, we're not, but you saw Charles.
Eventually, that will be us. Eventually, that will be us going out there and fighting and putting our lives on the line. And that thought will always be in the back of your head. But you have to learn how to ignore that little voice, because it's rough if you don't. It can tear you apart. And I've seen it a little too often.
That was... Wow. Maybe you should have been a theurge, Ray.
I mean, I was only, a week off of potentially being a theurge. Just because we're all born under a specific moon doesn't mean that we all have insights into other aspects.
How long did it take for you to stop feeling like this, if you even ever did?
At this point, I'll also lean back on against the bars. Honestly, I never had the time to think about it. Sure, we've had downtime as Geru, but since I went on my first deployment and all the time since, I have in some way, shape, or form been fighting or trying to survive. And when you're doing that, those feelings don't come up. And I've had the time and through a lot of effort been able to shove it down. It might all catch up to me eventually, but you learn to turn off your emotions to some extent.
That must be nice. And she'll subconsciously grab her right arm.
Is your arm feeling better?
It's healing. I ain't the most physically prowess, or don't have the most physical prowess of the group.
If it's still hurting in a couple days, you could talk to Eliza. You're not barred from her, but she can do this thing. She can heal. She can heal people and their injuries. So maybe she can have a look at that.
I'll keep that in mind, and sorry about all of that.
I mean, I think it's fine for you to feel scared and to not be okay with what's going on. We're not even old enough to fucking legally buy alcohol.
I mean, I appreciate that, but I'm talking about, and she'll motion to where she cut you.
It is what it is. Charles was trying to prove a point. You were just helping him, and she looks at Ray, and you were just following orders. I was the one being difficult about it.
I wasn't just following his orders. I did see the point that he was trying to make. But at the same time, it was a very rough lesson to learn. And I hope that it did come across in some extent to you. So that way we don't have to go through that again. Because I don't think anyone should be put through something as rough as that. As rough as I've gone through in boot camp and the training I've gone through, that was the worst one-on-one lesson I've ever seen.
He could have at least let you teach me how to hold the fucking thing. I've never held a gun before in my life.
I mean, I can teach you later. So next time it happens, you can actually shoot correctly. Because, albeit, the shot on Deadbeat was good. It wasn't intentional, I feel like.
I kind of wanted to shoot him. Get even with him a little bit.
You definitely did that.
I didn't want to shoot either of you. You didn't do anything to me.
True. But in that instance, I volunteered to help you in that situation. And though you didn't shoot me, I would not have been angry if you did. Because I took the chance and I did what needed to be done in that moment.
Part of me feels like he was pissed off that I was doing okay with the training. And that he was just trying to give me something difficult. He just sees me as another shamed Garu, another problem, I feel.
Could be. But Stakes was right that they need us here and that the reinforcements that we have come to provide seems like they desperately need. So if he only saw you as a shamed Garu, you would probably be dead. So, shows how desperate that they need us down here.
Well, like I told Deadbeat later on after all that stuff happened, I'm at least a shamed Garu who knows the fucking litany.
Damn right you are.
Should we? And she gestures to the cityscape.
As you gesture, you actually gesture towards a gentleman who's walking your direction, and his features almost immediately draw all three of your attention because as opposed to everyone else walking along the cityscape, this man stands out more than anyone else. He is like a sore thumb sticking out on the Riverwalk. He is barefoot. He looks to be in his late 50s, maybe early 60s. He has a very well manicured white beard, short gray white hair atop his head. He's wearing a open, almost like peasant shirt and a vest. He's got a large leather pack strapped to his back. His feet are bare, though it looks like he's got a pair of sandals that are hanging off a big leather pack that hangs off of his back. And he's got a large staff that he walks with that clacks off the concrete. The staff is ornately carved all the way up and down the staff with strange symbols and sigils carved along the staff. And as it taps on the concrete as he walks up, he says, "Evening, folks. Sorry to bother you. Was just wondering if y'all needed a light."
And she'll look to Rory.
Rory will pull out a cigarette. I'll never say no to a kind gesture.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't mean that kind of light. You see, he pulls off his bag and he starts digging out and he pulls out several candles in what appear to be glass jars. You see, I'm actually doing some fundraising for Tampa Ministries, and I'm selling these here candles. And I was interested if you might be interested in buying a candle. It's just a small donation. If you'd like, you can have one for free, but any donations are appreciated, of course. Don't know if you've heard of the Ministries. They're up to the northeast there. Anything's appreciated. It's a non-denominational organization that helps those in need.
How much money do I still have on me after helping Delphine out last time?
Probably like $50.
Rory will pull out some cash and hand him like a $5.
Well, that's mighty kind of you. He passes over one of the candles, and as you unscrew the lid and give it a sniff, it has a really strong campfire smell to it. I think if you give that a light, you won't regret it.
Thank you, sir.
How about the rest of you? Do you need something to light your way?
Delphine looks extremely awkward because she has absolutely no cash on her and is feeling very guilty right now and is probably not doing the best job of hiding it.
I'll stop leaning on the post, pull out my wallet from the back pocket, and I'll also pull out a $5 bill. Here you go. Hope this helps in your cause.
It does. Mighty kind of you. He actually digs out 2 more candles, handing one to you. And as you open it, it smells like fresh leather. And he passes another one to Delphine. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. You'll get back on your feet, I'm sure. And as you open yours, it smells like soothing lavender. Y'all give those a lot now. You might get exactly what you're looking for. Don't apologize. These are rough times for everyone. It's a changing world out there, and everybody needs a handout every now and then. Just pass it on. Y'all have a good evening. Thank you for your contributions.
You as well, sir. And Rory will smile and wipe her eyes.
He turns and puts his backpack on again and starts walking away, the tapping of the staff on the concrete as he moves down the Riverwalk, stopping at another group and offering out candles once again.
Well, that was conveniently timed.
Also really weird. But from what I've heard about Florida, this is probably common.
It's
Probably one of the nicer things to happen in Florida, just based on everything about Florida.
that is true. And usually when you are in bigger cities or touristy cities, you see a lot of weird shit.
Does the candle have like a sticker on it, like from the organization it's from?
Strangely enough, no.
You think our little friend will appreciate these more than my Bic?
Maybe. And she'll hold out the candle for Rory to light as she activates penumbral senses.
Rory will light Delphine's and then hers, and then see if Ray wants his lit.
Might as well.
And then she'll light it.
So you spark the candles, and Delphine, as you activate the penumbral senses, the flame that sparks on the first candle almost immediately grows larger in the umbral view beyond. It flickers a few times before growing tall and breaking off into 3 stalks, one taller and the 2 to the side, smaller than the middle one. In the center of the middle stalk form eyes and a mouth, as Ember appears amidst the flame. These are interesting times indeed.
She's here. They're here. She'll look to Ember. What do you prefer?
I don't have a preference. For I am she, I am he, I am they. I am all, and I am none.
She'll look at Rory and Ray. Ember's cool with whatever.
Good to know.
Duly noted.
As Ember speaks, at first, it's only Delphine that can hear it, but then eventually the voice starts to enter into Ray's mind and Rory's as well. Your connection grows stronger. Your bond strengthens. I can feel it. You are the ones who woke me. You are the ones who brought me thus.
Did you follow us all the way from Michigan?
Follow you. Nay. You carried me.
We brought you?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I don't think if you didn't want to leave, we can try to figure out a way to take you back if you'd like.
Want. It is not a matter of want. I go where I'm needed.
And you're needed here?
Aren't I?
Delphine looks between her two pack mates.
I'll look back a little confused. What exactly do you think, and not to be rude, we need you here?
Your inner spark grows weak. It has dampened, if it ever began. The fire that binds you, drives you. That which makes you burn. That which makes you fight. Do you feel it? One of you is afraid. The other is ashamed. The other intimidated.
So you being here is helping us rekindle this flame that's supposed to be inside of us?
My being here is because you have already begun to. My remaining here is up to you. It started with a spark. You choose if it becomes an inferno, or if it dies out once more into ash. You woke me up. Will I fall asleep once more?
So, our efforts, our ability to keep this spark burning keeps you around?
Yes. That and a ritual.
Jester mentioned something about that. Said she would pass something along for and she'll motion to Delphine. She believes Ember here may be our pack patron.
I know about patrons. We each have one, but I didn't know packs had patrons as well.
Yeah, I learned that from Jester. It was interesting. They have one, believe they call her Star. And then she blew a kiss up into the air, I guess.
Delphine will look up to see if she's spots any of the stars in the sky.
There are many, more than you can count. But looking around, roll me a wits and awareness check. As you gaze to the northeast, high above, in the direction of the cairn in the direction of Hillsborough State Park. High, high above, not quite in the direction of the North Star, but just slightly east of it. One star seems to hang lower and burn brighter than the others.
Huh. I can see a star over there, and she's just pointing at probably what looks like a starless sky in the real world.
Does that star look like a loon? I believe that's what she said theirs was.
No, it looks like a star, not a bird.
A light giggle, almost flickering, enters into all of your minds. Like, kind of like sparking, almost like a firecracker.
So, we need to do a ritual, she says, looking down at Ember, to bind you to us fully.
Yes, if you wish for this flame to burn bright, everlasting.
What does having you be our pack patron and we being your pack, what does that entail for us and you?
For me, another chance to see the world anew, to not return to the depths of endless slumber. For you, a bond greater than that you have now.
I mean, we'd have to talk to Juniper and Deadbeat, but if we're wanting to do this and take it seriously, I don't know, maybe it might be something we should do.
I agree. We need to talk to the others first before jumping to any decisions. But this relationship that we would end up having is a give and take. You get to see the world, and our bond grows. But is there anything more that you would be taking from us or that we would be getting from you?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's a very direct. Spirits aren't. They just. They're careful with their words. So that was actually a pretty straightforward answer.
If you say so.
I can tell you this. Raymond, there is an answer to what you're seeking. Delphine. You'll never be free until you break the shackles. Rory. He's still following you. And the flame goes out.
Delphine's hands are actually shaking a little bit, having heard such direct and ominous warnings from the spirit. And she is looking around to see if they just moved away from this source of fire and maybe was dancing amongst the spider webs again.
You actually see that all 3 of the candles have burned out too, and it's just smoke coming off of the candles. And there is no sign of Ember amongst the nearby flames or spider webs on the umbral side or on this side.
They're gone.
After hearing what she said, I will be gripping the candle tight, my face darkening a little bit with a little bit of a grim determination of hearing that, but I will not say anything. Just staring at the smoke drifting from the candle.
Rory will kind of go a little pale at first, and then her expression will turn to anger. And not anger like her usual disputes with Deadbeat, like an anger y'all probably haven't seen before on her face.
It knows about us. It knows things.
We need to talk to the rest of the pack. And we need to get Ember as our patron. We need that ritual.
Delphine will look at Rory. Do you think you can get Jester to show it to you, to teach it to us?
She mentioned she would pass it along. I can let her know we saw Ember tonight and see if she can expedite that.
Hopefully it's straightforward and doesn't require much. I don't know. The only ritual I know how to perform is the one to step in.
If we have to hold hands, I'm not holding Deadbeats.
That's okay, Ray can.
I will just continue looking at the smoke, the burnt out candle.
Then we should probably head back. And right before I put the candle away, I do want to take one more look around, just because last time I was here, there was something weird that I couldn't see.
Sure. Looking beyond, it is as it was before. The city, still a mess of the Weaver's creation. Very orderly in a lot of ways, but also ruin. And then there's that thing hovering up above the cloud line, looming. as you focus your vision upward, trying to track the long stalks up into the sky. Roll me a wits and investigation.
Okay, after spending a willpower, I got 3 successes.
You squint your eyes, trying to focus as much as possible to see through the haze up above. And the shape starts to take form. As it crouches and dips just below the clouds. The massive spider hovering above the clouds, crouching down from above. But what's even more terrifying than that, the spider is dead. We now transition to our next scene. Our final scene of the evening begins late one night. Deadbeat, just like the past 2 nights before, you've spent most of this evening partying, but as all things go, the bars must eventually close. The clubs must eventually make last call, and eventually the city does go to sleep. And even though house parties sometimes rage on, when a weeknight comes along, people do have to go to work in the morning. So sometimes there's just nothing to do, and you do have to make your way home. And knowing that training is going to be resuming any day now, as much as you'd like to rebel against the idea of it starting up again, a part of you knows that you're going to at least have to get a couple of hours of sleep before things start up again. So, having made your way back to the house, you come in to find that the TV is on, the glow of the screen being some of the only light in the otherwise dark house. And that is where you find Juniper, still awake, the only one seemingly stirring in the house, sitting on the couch watching the television. Now, Juniper, perhaps it's a bout of insomnia, perhaps it's worry over Stakes, who again is out this evening, telling you that you cannot go with her on this particular assignment, but that she promises that she will take you soon enough on a future outing. And with the arrival of Deadbeat, you can feel the groan from within that possibly even echoes out as soon as he arrives. The smell of alcohol thick on the air, and probably also mixed with a variety of smokes, tobacco, and marijuana clinging to his clothes. The scene is yours.
I look away from the TV and still curled up on the couch as Deadbeat walks in and just definitely internally groan. Will I take in the sight before me? Long night?
As I walk in, kind of definitely look a bit tired, even though I pride myself being able to party all night. My body can't keep up with, several nights of partying in a row. I look tired. I kind of walk in. I'm immediately looking to the kitchen as I start walking. in, trying to get some water to drink, so hopefully I'm not hungover by tomorrow. As I hear you say that, I just well, it isn't long enough. It isn't long enough. Just like it sucks. Trains resuming tomorrow, man. Shit sucks. Not long enough of a break.
Yeah, I'm definitely not looking forward to it myself.
And that's why you're still awake now, watching whatever the hell you're watching. I don't even know.
Sure. Yeah, that's why I'm still up. There's some pizza left over. It's in the fridge.
I look visibly excited by the fact of leftover pizza as I. Oh, hell yeah, fuck. I was worried that would be Ray would eat the rest of it, or Rory especially. God, I know Delphine wouldn't touch it. You know, she bear see her, but I just immediately start like rushing on over to prepare myself a plate of leftover pizza and some water. And I kind of once I put it in the microwave, I kind of walk back in, kind of like leaning over the couch, not directly over, but like kind of the other end and looking at the TV. Just so you watch this often? You kind of watch TV? I didn't think you actually had hobbies.
The TV is just playing like an infomercial channel. Um, Kind of obvious that I haven't actually really been watching it. Uh, no. I guess I just have it on as background noise at this point.
Kind of stare and nod to that as I just I guess that's just chilling here. That's it. Just kind of odd. They're just sitting in complete darkness watching infomercials. Low key kind of creepy, but I mean, I guess you do what you gotta do.
Yep. We all just do what we gotta do. Speaking of doing what we want to do, are you gonna continue to cause hell during training?
I mean, last time it wasn't even me really causing hell. I mean, I was the one that got shot. I wasn't even the one that volunteered. You know, just I've been on decent behavior, at least better than how we started out here.
I guess I can give you that.
I can't lie, it isn't easy. Goddamn, rest of people pissing me the hell off. I swear, I told you when I got shot, I was real close to just letting it rip, but unfortunately Charles can whoop my ass. So you know, if they can't beat him, you gotta outsmart him, right? At least I can do shit behind his back.
That's very true. You can always do shit behind his back.
I mean, you don't seem too happy with him either, especially with how things with Delphine.
No, I think he's a piece of shit. I wouldn't mind seeing him be taken down a notch.
Shit, finally something we can agree on. Damn, you sure we are in hell right now? Something hell's frozen over? I guess this time of year.
It certainly was when we left. Do you have anything in mind? Have you been thinking about a way to get him back?
Not yet. I mean, more focused on just surviving. At this point, I honestly don't. He pisses me off, but I don't really care that much, I guess, to do some crazy plan or whatever. He pisses me off more than maybe, but right now I'm just. I can go out and party. If I just lay low, then, you know, he'll eventually fuck off, and I mean, he's in a rune. He's probably gonna die soon enough, anyways. I mean, that's kind of our job, isn't it? To kind of go in, fuck shit up, and then die in the process.
I don't think that dying is supposed to be part of that process. I think there's like some brains involved so that you don't.
I mean, when your job is soldier, warrior, that's like your whole role. That's kind of the thing you deal with the most, Like when it comes to like, Ray, whatever he does, like the whole interpreting rules bullshit. I mean, that's you don't really have to risk death on a daily basis for that one, or talking to spirits doesn't sound really all that dangerous when you're worst thing case scenario they just don't like you, or telling stories. Oh, that must be so dangerous.
You know that Ray started out in the military, like before all of this. Like, you know that, right? Like, he literally was a soldier and survived.
Supposedly, I mean, we don't know.
At that, I just kind of give him a look in like a very serious, straight faced manner. I know. I know.
I mean, that's good for you, but I don't know. So I've had people lie about crazier shit or even less shit, so not really something I'd be all that surprised about. It's kind of how a lot of people are. They just lie about the most random bullshit ever just to try and sound impressive or whatnot. People work at the janitor in a military base. They think all of a sudden now they're part of the active members, or, you know, wanting to be a part of something better.
I see the point that you're trying to make, Deadbeat. But I think in Ray's case, he's telling the truth. And I know that you'll see that in due time.
We'll see, I guess. I mean, if we all manage to make it that long, anyways.
I'm sure we will. They're not going to let us go straight into the worst of the danger yet.
I meant more, Charles killing us than whatever we go out to deal with. I feel like at this point, Charles is more of a danger to us than any sort of, vampire out there or whatever the hell.
Well, if he does try and come after one of us, I'm sure that all of us working together as a pack can take him down. He's only got so many arms.
I like the enthusiasm, but I'm not gonna lie, man. I felt his punch. Shit, we ain't winning that. Look, Delphine and Rory, one hit at most, I think. Me, you, and Ray, maybe a chance, but that's we might get a scratch off at most.
What was that you said earlier? Do something behind his back? Not like he has eyes in the back of his head.
But jumping from behind, I mean, I guess, but got like one shot at that. I mean, I don't think we just fuck up his car, honestly. I mean, nice little ride. Imagine just getting messed up, or imagine if he messed up his suits or some shit like that. Yeah, actually wear something that isn't some stuck-up outfit. Should you imagine him in a t-shirt? That should be funny as fuck.
It would be pretty funny. Pretty demeaning, even. Might be some nice revenge for what he did to Delphine and what he'll inevitably do to the rest of us.
Okay. Weird how you phrased that, but alright. You sound like this guy I met not too long ago. The way you're phrasing shit.
Guy you met.
Yeah, it's like weird dude I met out in Ybor, like talking about seeing me soon and whatever. But did learn some cool stuff. Actually, I guess the rat chose right because I got some information. I got some clues there.
Oh,
Yeah.
what information did you get?
Oh, yeah,
Mr. Blue's Clues.
Shit, I mean, I don't even want to tell you, but actually, don't you have beef with the quality builder people? You always seem pissed off when they're like mentioned or whatever.
Yes, I do. They're an awful company that's destroyed many lives. Do you have any information about them?
Maybe I might know a little extra info on them. Why should I tell you?
My face darkens as I look back up at Deadbeat. I think it would
I'm
be
just
very
fucking playing
wise of
with you.
you to tell me what you know, Deadbeat. I don't want there to be any issues between us.
Girl, chill. I'm just playing with you, dog. What the fuck? You think I'm just holding on to that just for shits and giggles? I mean, it would be pretty funny though. But I was waiting to like tell everyone, but because then I could like make it a whole big thing, and all y'all would have to tell me how awesome I am. But yeah,
If
there's
you tell me now, I will pretend you didn't. And when you tell the whole pack, I'll be just as excited as they are.
what I learned was that apparently, well, I already know we already know about like the the whatever seed thing they're talking about, especially like with Stakes mentioning. But apparently, this guy was talking to. He apparently worked with them before. I don't even like. Apparently, they're shitty bosses. They work people day and night all the time. Sounds awful, but they apparently leave secrets in the foundation. Apparently, it's something buried deep. I'm thinking one day we should go over there. I mean, maybe even if we could just go over there on our own, all the pack of us, we could go there, get some cool info. Apparently, it's life changing information. We get that info. We go to the actual like Sept. We can brag about how we got all this cool info, and they didn't do jack shit, and that we got it over them. Think about that. That'd be fucking awesome, wouldn't it? If the Charles' face as he realized that we did better than all him, I shit. I think it's a good idea, man. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking though.
Life changing information hidden within the foundations of one of their building sites? Is that what
Whatever
you're
they
saying?
it's something that where they build or whatever, they like to bury secrets or whatever. They like to bury stuff. I've heard that he's talking about corpses. I was like, man, are you talking about dead bodies? Like, bro, I don't know about that. But he was like, no, that's apparently life changing. So I don't know, man. Whatever they're, I guess, not just burying seeds, probably something deeper. Or I mean, maybe it's just the seeds. I don't know.
Interesting. Uh, I have a question really quick for the storyteller. How long ago did Stakes leave at this point?
Probably at least 2, maybe 3 hours ago at this point. It's late enough at night. It's after the bars have closed, so it's easily 3:34 a.m.
Okay, so it would be kind of late enough to not be able to pick up a scent trail at this point.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Fuck. So, what happens if you tell the pack about this and nobody wants to go check it out?
I don't know, sounds like their problem. I mean, I did my part, right? Like that's apparently what it's supposed to do, like get secrets and info, and I got it. I mean, I did my part. If they don't want to go, I don't care. I just figured it'd be pretty fucking awesome to just get that over the whole sept and have our bragging rights over them, and then actually have to respect us at that point. No more collars and leashes.
Tell you what, Deadbeat, if the pack doesn't agree to do it, we can find it ourselves, and I'll go with you.
See, I can't. I can't take pause for a second as I. At this point, I like stop leaning on the couch and I go and like sit on the other end, and there's a battle in my head about the side of me that's lazy that doesn't really want to do that, but the other part of me that's really vindictive and petty that wants to show that I'm better than the rest of the Sept. That's kind of waging in my head as I eventually. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling, man. I mean, that does sound.
You were so excited. You were so excited to show them how wonderful and amazing you are. It'll be
Yeah, but
helping the
like,
both of us, honestly.
but if there's something there, then I can at least throw Ray at it. If Ray's not there, then I have to, like, we'll have to actually deal with it.
You and Ray are not the only warriors in this pack.
I know that other people can do stuff. I mean, we're all werewolves. I mean, we can't all fight, but not that I wanted Ray to actually win. I just want to see Ray get his ass kicked a little bit. Then I could jump in. Maybe Delphine a little bit too, actually. But we'll see how I'm feeling. But I'm liking the sound of that, especially because whole write a shame bullshit, whatever. Maybe if I can get that off sooner rather than later, it'd be pretty nice. Especially with like the whole point that to impress the leadership or whatever. So if you do that, hey, I mean, get that off rather quickly. Then I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about the stink. And this braid
Yeah,
looked like shit.
exactly. I mean, I think the braid looks kind of nice, but the stink is rather strong. And besides, the faster you impress the leadership, faster that collar comes off. You're right.
It's a pretty nice deal for you, huh? Now I get to go over and actually continue fighting the people that you hate. What do they even do to you, anyways? They're gonna be scrapping with them so much.
You remember what Stakes told you guys the first night I showed up?
I'll be honest, vaguely, I kind of didn't care. I really just kind of was half paying attention. Something about your stuff being real rough and something, I don't even remember, like something losing something, I assume. I don't know.
Well, when you can remember what happened, then you'll know why I hate them so much.
You don't want to just restate it again, bro? I mean, what's the problem with just talking about it?
It's hard enough to even live with it, Deadbeat. Putting it out into words. I, you'll know. When I can say it, you'll know.
Well, I guess, what are you aiming to get out of this then? I know you're not just coming here out of the goodness of your heart to help me out. So what? You're hoping to strike a hit against them? Hoping to take revenge on all of them? Take out every single one of them?
Take out the ones that I can. Maybe not all of them, but at least the ones around me wherever I go.
Like even the guys that aren't even like management or anything, just the dudes working?
They're actively choosing to work for a company that does that shit, and they know it.
I mean, not my place to really judge, but I mean, hey man, I've talked with a few kind of people at places I've been around, parties. Those most of the people ain't half bad. I mean, most of them just gotta pay bills, man, like the rest of us. They just do what they gotta do. Most of them aren't trying to actively be assholes. I mean, even the friend that I learned information from, he seems like a decent enough guy. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's trying to do all that much shitty stuff.
Well, we just gotta make sure to hit that site up when there's nobody there. We can do that much at least.
Probably a lot easier to dig when there's not like 20 people around,
Mm-hmm. So what do you say, Deadbeat? Do you want to do this? You can always watch Ray and Delphine get their asses kicked in training or whatever mission we're on. And then you can go in and be the hero, even in front of Charles, since he'll probably be moderating our missions. This is something that you want to do by yourself. This is something that you want to do to prove how strong you are and amazing you are.
The more you're talking, the less I want to do this. So let's take a step back here. I'm not a fucking hero. You got the complete wrong impression of that, man. I never claimed to be any sort of hero. I'm just a dude trying to live.
I
So,
never once said
I'm
hero.
pretty sure you just said hero, but anyways, no, I'll be down to do it. You know, if things go south, things look hairy, then I'll fuck off, and we'll run back and do that another day. I'm not gonna stand around and try and fight or risk my life trying to dig up some forbidden treasure. But I'm sure the rest of the pack will want to do it anyways. I mean, Delphine's probably desperate enough to get that right of shame off her, and I mean, I don't know. Ray probably wants to look better in the eyes of the leadership. Actually, Ray probably not want to do it because he's all about, we gotta do what Charles says. We gotta do what all of these people say. And think he'll ever get that stick out of his ass, or if it's just born with it? Maybe it's just ingrained into his system.
Probably get shoved deeper in there with each training session by Charles.
I'd be working us probably. I can't wait for him to actually start introducing more sparring and shit. Oh my god. I'm gonna fuck up Delphine. I'm gonna tell you that. That fucking still hurts, by the way. It's still sore. It healed. But that shit still hurts. It's annoying.
You know, I understand that you're upset at Delphine, but maybe beating the shit out of the weakest member of our pack isn't a good look. And that's even like for you, your level of like at least something in there. Probably not. I don't think that that would actually make you feel good. Have Rory beat her up instead.
Rory sucks. You saw how they just did that last fight? Rory was barely doing anything. Maybe I can convince Ray. Ray wouldn't probably do it either. He was being such a pussy about it. Oh my god. How about you just beat her up instead? You're probably the best at it. I mean, you got that psycho look in your eyes. You'd probably be pretty good at it.
I could probably beat anybody up in the pack to beat.
Oh wait, you're actually being serious, bro? No, that's just funny as fuck. You're fuck. Wait, I think my pizza's done. By the way, that's pretty fucking funny. Hold on, let me grab that shit real quick and get up and start walking away, like laughing to myself as I grab my pizza and water.
I just sit silently on the couch, unmoving, still curled up.
I come back with the food in my hand and water as I stand there. I'll say, yeah, look, I mean, I'll probably do it with you if they don't agree to do it. It'll be all right. Like it'll probably work out anyways. It'll probably come with, but if they don't, we'll talk about it. I'm gonna go upstairs, eat my pizza, drink my water, and go to sleep. Are you staying down here? Are you gonna actually go to sleep yourself, or you just kind of just creepily watch the TV all night?
I mean, I'll go to bed at some point.
Okay, all right. Just nod to that. Well, I guess. Good night. I guess. Just kind of start walking upstairs with my food and water, getting ready to turn in for the night.
3 days off. An opportunity for some R and R and R. Rest and recuperation and ranting. They say that curiosity killed the cat. But what does it do to the wolf? Only time will tell. This is where tonight's story comes to a close, but not without one last scene. Our scene begins out in the middle of the Gulf, where a large shipping boat bobs on the waves. We move in to the boat, to the interior, where we find a large shipping container in the interior of the boat. We then move in to the inside of the shipping container, where a walkie-talkie sits in the corner of the shipping container. As the walkie-talkie crackles on, the voice of Charles can be heard saying, "It's now time for your exam," as all 5 members of the pack wake up inside the shipping container. Next week, the pack awakes on the boat in the Gulf, where 5 starving vampires are on the ship.
You
What?
motherfucker, Charles.
What?
Oh, no!
Oh
I'm gonna
my
kill you,
God.
Charles!
Thank you so much to everybody watching at home. Thank you to these incredible players. If you enjoy what you've seen here, go follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media you see in the description. We'll be back with another episode of Hellhounds live here on YouTube next Friday, where you can tune in. Also, we've got an episode of Rage Across Tampa on Tuesday on Twitch, so tune in to that. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Have a good evening, everyone.